my front yard for this video. We live right on the Katy Trail. Our front yard starts right at the trail. You can see it going by. So we ride it quite often. And once in a while, well, as frequently as we can, we take our dogs with us. So we thought we'd do a little video to tell you how to safely take your dogs with you on bike rides. However, if you want to, you can go to our website listed below, either Working German Shepherd Dogs or dogstarkennel.com, and read on the pages of Bicycle Springer, I think is the title of the page. And it has all the safety tips on there and tells you about the equipment.
Hi, I'm Darren, and today I wanted to cover some of the safety tips and equipment you need for running your dog beside you on your bicycle. Now, this is just a kind of a cruiser bike, upright. Ideally, you know, men might have a problem with it, but women's bikes are easier. If you happen to have one that has the lower here, it's easier to get on and off in an emergency. Anyway, here you'll see here what we have is a Springer, which is what attaches to the dog. And a lot of times you'll see people, they'll just attach their dog by their collar to this. That's just a no-no in our world. It's easy for a dog to get choked like that. It can cause a collapse of their trachea. What we prefer to use is a traditional actual harness. This here is a multi-purpose harness that my wife makes. It's how we hooked up and how we met each other was through our dogs. She was a harness maker. I had a whole kennel full of dogs. Anyway, the way this works, and we'll show you when we put it on the dog. The dog's neck goes through here, and it actually pulls off the shoulders, not off the neck. And the shoulders will be here, and this is the chest here. And then this dog will be clipped in, and then we use this middle hook here up front to connect to the dog. And then it can pull. Now, you'll see me, I also use a leash. The leash is just for control. Because we are on the Katy Trail, the trail itself is only about 8-10 feet wide at its widest point. We don't want the dog to pull out and interfere with somebody going the other direction. So I'll have this hooked up to her neck, and then just loosely, but I can pull her over and pull her head back closer to me if I need to. It gives me a secondary control. Now, you'll see we'll wear gloves. We, of course, have our helmets. Anything can happen. Go slow to begin with, and of course, pick a nice weather. This seems bright and sunny, but it is a colder day, you can tell, which is perfect for running our dogs.
Darren and I have had many breeds of dogs. Right now we have German Shepherd dogs and a Yorkshire Terrier puppy who I am in love with. And one of the reasons I wanted a Yorkshire Terrier is because they're smaller, 7 pounds or under is what the standard says. And she could fit in a basket to ride on my bike. And one of the things I wanted to talk about is the types of baskets you should use with a dog or the kinds you shouldn't. Anything that you put a dog into, the dog is trusting you with their life, literally with their life. My Yorkshire Terrier weighs 5 pounds, and if she were to fall this far, she has 4-inch legs. If she were to fall from here to the ground, that's like us falling off a cliff. And you need to keep that in perspective when you hook your animals up. This is something we found on the internet. Actually, I think I got the first one from Walmart on clearance. And it has this attachment to your bike, handlebars, that you hook down and get it on tight. And then the bar, this metal bar, goes down into that ridge, and you got to really put it in there, and that's good. You want it tight, and then it locks on so that it doesn't bounce up when you're not looking. I have a towel in there for her. It just makes me feel better. What I like is that this particular basket has a lid, and I like this because not only is the dog safely enclosed, but it also offers a barrier between other people and your dog, other dogs and your dog, as well as gives just a little bit of shade. When you're out with your dogs, there are certain things you should carry. always carry water. Darren covered how you should wear your safety equipment. And actually you should wear sunglasses also, because your dog's feet will throw things like little pebbles or whatever. And if that gets in your eye, it could cause some problems. We carry a collapsible, I got this on eBay for less than $1. It's just a little collapsible bowl that we carry, and that way we have our water on and we can drink out of that water as well as water the dogs from it. Now, my one of my German Shepherd dogs that runs beside my bike, we have a place in South Dakota. It's 161 acres, so they can run free there. We put in a little mountain bike course there that our dogs run with us. And the dog that normally runs free with me there drinks out of one of the bicycle bottles that have the little straw that comes up. I just squeeze that and she drinks right out of it. But always have water for your dogs. And take a leash. I take one even for Katy when she rides in the basket, because if you have a flat tire, you have to have something to do with your dog. Our animals follow us everywhere. Katy, they'll wait for you. Dogs love to run. We keep the speed limit down. We have odometers on our handlebars. We keep Tianna at about 7-8 miles an hour, although we know she could go 12. What you hear is Katy crying because I'm filming and not riding beside her buddy Tianna. Here they come back. Tianna absolutely loves this. She gets so excited when we take them out. You can see the leash that Darren has is not taut. The dog is not pulling from the neck, and the springer is bent.
Now this is Tianna. She's our 2-year-old German Shepherd dog. She's the youngest of our German Shepherds. She's just starting to learn. Right now she just has more gusto and go than common sense, but she's slowly figuring this all out. You can see here how the harness is hooked up. And this is great sled dog training. That's how Marna and I got hooked up, met first, was racing sled dogs. We don't have our Siberian Huskies and our Labrador Retrievers anymore, but we do have these German Shepherds, and they are great for all kinds of things. We also use this for training lead dogs. Command, G for right, haw for left, whoa to slow down, stop, easy to slow up, hike to go. And she is just thrilled and ready to go again, aren't you, girl? You ready? Hike!
Katy's sitting in her basket. She's usually looking forward to see where we're going.
Here we are sitting, getting ready to take off again. I'm going to head on down the trail. You might think, why do I need to train sled dog commands if I'm not going to ever have a sled dog team? Well, you can do this kind of pulling for other kinds of mobile sports. If you got a scooter, or even if you're daring enough for a skateboard, you still want to have the dog out front and knowing your commands, turn and stop and all those good things. Here comes Marna and Katy. Katy hates to be behind. She likes to ride with her big sister. If you'd let her, I think she'd get out and pull the bicycle. Here they are. Here's Katy ready to get out and help.
You can see Katy has on a winter coat. Actually, she has on one with backpacks, but she has on a winter coat because When you take a dog out that's riding, you have to take wind factor or wind chill into the equation. Whether you're pulling them in a trailer or you have them in a basket, they're not running and warming up, so the air is cold. We have Tianna sit down after a couple miles. We've gone 2.5 miles and it's time for her to get a drink and sit down a minute. We let her catch her breath. She is a young dog and we don't want to overdo it. We also keep her held back, which she does not like. You can see she's raring to go. She's asking when they're ready. We use sled dog commands because the dogs should have a cue that they know when they're going, when they're stopping, when they're turning, and what they're doing. Even little dogs riding need a drink from time to time. But especially your other dogs that are running, you only give them, you just wet their whistle and then you give them a minute and then you give them a little bit more water. Not too much all at once. It can cause bloat. Probably won't, but it could, and we just don't take a chance. As you can see, after 5 miles, neither of the dogs are tired. Tianna wanted to go further, and they just love it. You're doing this at your own risk with your own dogs. This is how we've done it. I've taken dogs out with bicycles for over 30 years and never had a problem or injury. But you have to do it right and do it safely, not only for the dogs, but for your own personal safety. If you take a dog out and you're holding the handlebars with a leash and the dog pulls, they can pull you over and drag you. Thank you for watching. Please have a great day. Get out, have some fun. Please like and subscribe.